70 years ago, I was in high school, almost a third as long as the country has been around. And when I was in high school, I really only had two things on my mind: girls and cars. and I wasn't doing very well with girls, so we'll talk about cars. But let's just imagine that when we finish, I'm going to let each one of you pick out the car of your choice. Sounds good, doesn't it? Pick it out, any color, you name it. It'll be tied up with a bow, and it'll be at your house tomorrow. And you say, well, what's the catch? And the catch is that it's the only car you're going to get in your lifetime. Now, what are you going to do knowing that that's the only car you're ever going to have and you love that car? You're going to take care of it like you cannot believe. Now, what I'd like to suggest is you're not going to get only one car in your lifetime, but you're going to get one body and one mind, and that's all you're going to get. And that body and mind feels terrific now, but it has to last you a lifetime.
I'm Caitlin Polcher. I'm an actuarial science major, and I'm a junior. And you both have several managers working under you, so I was wondering what are some steps that a new entrant into the job market can take to accelerate their journey towards an upper-level management position?
Yeah, well, one thing I will tell you that I didn't realize when I was getting out of school is how much the unusual person will jump out at you. I mean, you know, and it isn't because they got 200 IQs or anything like that. It's really because of just how they behave, you know, what they bring, the energy they bring, the commitment they bring, the quality of how they do things, how they treat the people around them, all kinds of things. But you will jump out much more than you might anticipate. One of the things you would want to be sure to do is, whether you like it or not, get very comfortable, it may take a while, with public speaking, for example. I mean, that's an asset that will last you 50 or 60 years, and it's a liability if you don't like doing it and are uncomfortable doing it, that also will last you 50 or 60 years, and it's a necessary skill. But a lot of the skills are just human skills. If you get the best out of people around you, that's a rare talent, and it doesn't correlate with IQ. It correlates with an attitude and toward the world and toward other people. And it's a talent that if you work at early and you're really conscious about it, you know, you don't have to show up other people. You know, you don't have to be smarter than they are or anything else. You want to bring out the best in them. It will pay huge dividends.
My general advice to people, I mean, you know, we have an interest in credit cards, but people. I think people should avoid using credit cards as a piggy bank to be raided. I had a woman come to see me here not long ago, and she'd come on some money, and not very much, but it was a lot to her. And she's a friend of mine, and she said, "What should I do with it?" You know, and I said, "Well, what do you owe on your credit card?" And she said, "Well, I owe X." And I said, "Well, what you should do," I don't know what interest rate she was paying, but I think, you know, I think I asked her and she knew, and it was something like 18% or something. I said, "I don't know how to make 18%. You know, I mean, if I owed any money at 18%, the first thing I do with any money I had would be to pay it off. It's going to be way better than any investment idea I've got." And that wasn't what she wanted to hear. And then later on in the conversation, she talked about her daughter, and her daughter had $1,000 or $2,000 or something, and she said, "Well, what should I do with?" She named the girls money, and I said, "Have her lend it to you." You know, and I mean, if you're willing to pay 18% or whatever, I mean, she's not going to find a better deal. I'll lend you money. It just doesn't make sense. You can't go through life, you know, borrowing money at those rates and be better off. So I encourage everybody. It's contrary to my own or Berkshire's interests in certain cases, and the world is in love with credit cards, but I would suggest to anybody that the first thing they do in life is is not on. They can get to something else later on, but don't be paying even 12% to anybody. I mean, it's pay that off, and if they're really a good credit and they don't want to do it, come and see me personally. I'll lend you the money at that rate. Greg, what do you tell your children?
No, same advice. Excellent advice. No, I have three that carefully use their credit card. More, I would say, for not the. Obviously, people use it a lot more as they go into the digital world and e-commerce world. But then the goal has to be to repay it. It doesn't mean you. Because you have to use it for those type of transactions, you run up the balance. But there's an incremental risk there now.
It's a matter of convenience for some people.
Yeah.
But I would have trouble if I were paying 12% for money or whatever it might be. It would not be a good thing. You won't see Berkshire paying